Hey everyone, I'm Bibi and welcome back to Strangetown. Today we're working on another lot renovation, and honestly, this had to be the most difficult lot makeover I've done to date, and I'll tell you why later. Off camera, I've been experimenting with hood deco to make Strangetown look a little bit more like a small town than, just a bunch of lots spread around. I've been placing decorations, buildings, dirt roads, and so on, and I was working a bit more in this corner of the map, so I thought, you know what, maybe the next house renovation should be right here. Up on this hill is one of, if not the craziest looking lot that Maxis has ever made, and of course this Tower of Chaos belongs to the Curious brothers. In search of truth and mystery, the Curious brothers got more than they were expecting. Can Pascal, Lazlo, and Vidcund cope with their new roles as cosmic parents? You know what it is, these guys, they love aliens. They love aliens. I mean, in that kind of way, more than you do. So, that's completely normal. Who wouldn't want to do things with aliens? I mean, am I right? Enough of that. Let's hop into this slot and see what the house looks like. Immediately when you log into this household, you're greeted with this gorgeous scene, Pascal's baby bump. If you've seen my Let's Plays, he's already been waddling around our Uberhood, walking with his belly forward. We've also seen his brothers, Lazlo here, looking like a gender-bent Cassandra goth, and Vidcund as well. He's a sharp-dressed man, but I have a slightly different vision for him. I actually downloaded an outfit specifically for him that you'll see at the very end. But we'll check them out later because we need to zoom out on this wild place. This is their house, this is their crazy tower of science and wondrous alien abduction experiments, I don't know. Okay, in my opinion, this house is one of the most iconic builds ever made for The Sims, period. It's so recognizable, it's so unique, over the top, straight up ridiculous, and amazing. So for my renovation, I didn't want to just demolish everything and completely change it. It's just too iconic. I want the house to retain this overall shape and vibe, so we're going with what I like to call Maxis Match Plus. Extra decoration, clutter, lots of custom content, but still very much the recognizable Curious Boys lot. We've got this wild layout in here, this asymmetrical bathroom with 3 doors for some reason, almost identical bedrooms, each with a door leading to the outside world. I don't know what's going on. Can't forget to mention the 3 desks with chairs pointing in all directions in the living space. This house just has it all. Now, let's get started and I'll walk you through my entire thought process, which, no thoughts head empty. It was basically my thought process, just kidding. This house renovation took me 3 recording sessions, actually maybe even 4 recording sessions. I just constantly ended up changing things, and I still look at things and I know that they can be improved, and I just want to completely constantly change stuff. I don't know. It's just such a wild place. My perfectionist tendencies really kicked in with this one, and to be honest, I felt very frustrated at times while building. For instance, I knew I wanted to keep the crazy tall towers, right? The towers have to stay. But I didn't know exactly how I wanted them to turn out in the end. I just didn't have a very, very specific idea. I entertained the idea to use an elevator, the elevators that came with Apartment Life. I had an idea to use that to get to the telescope up top. Then I decided, nah, I'll just use spiral stairs instead. I left some of the big staircases for a while, like you're seeing right now. I didn't delete some of the staircases on the right side of the house. And then when I logged into my second gameplay session, I was like, no, I saved a lot, loaded it the next day, and decided I don't want them anymore. So they disappear a little bit later. There was just a lot of that kind of thing going on, and I was kind of conflicted about what I wanted to do. I decided to extend the entire house by 1 block towards the back of the lot. You'll see that in a little bit, because I wanted to give the boys double beds. That's basically it. Mostly the bedrooms were pretty small, and I knew I wanted to give them double beds. I don't know why, I don't know about you guys, but I always like giving my Sims double beds when I can, because I'm like, you never know when they'll need some space for a woohoo partner, you know what I mean? Although the Curious brothers mostly woohoo in space, not in their bedrooms. But yes, I like having double beds. I feel like that's just a normal thing for adults. I think of single beds as the beds that kids get, and double beds are for adults. Anyways, as you saw a little bit earlier, I changed Vidcund's greenhouse to have the actual greenhouse walls and roof that came with Seasons expansion. These of course didn't exist when this house was initially built, so it makes sense to give it such an update. Even if I didn't have custom content, I would still turn that into an actual greenhouse. Speaking of custom content, I'm thinking a lot about what kind of videos I want to make. I have a whole list of ideas that I'm just so passionate about and I'm so excited, and then I have no time for it. It's driving me insane. I want to experiment with different formats, shorter, longer videos, different types of Let's Plays, one-shot challenges, and so on. Just so many things. And just unfortunately, I don't have enough time for that. And it's killing me. It's killing me. It's driving me wild. My main issue is that my full-time job requires me to stare at a computer all day, and my eyes are super exhausted because of that. Spending 9+ hours working, and then to top it all off with 5 to 4 hours of playing, editing, and whatnot is just really not the best combo. I already wear glasses, so I'm not on a good trajectory, and of course I need to have some semblance of a social life and hang out with my family and my partner and whatnot, so it's just a lot. Anyways, enough rambling, back to the build. I placed some skylights in Vidcund's room, and later on in a couple of other spots that you'll see in a little bit. The roofline of this house is a weird combo of roof pieces, skylights, deck space, half walls, platform. There's just a bit of everything going on. It's insane, it's insane, it's kind of mismatched, but have you seen this house? Have you seen this place? This is not the place for symmetry and perfection. No, it's a place of insanity. I kind of think of this as a sort of refurbished lab or something like that. I mean, technically I do give them a lab in the end. We'll get to that in a second. The house is pretty chaotic. It looks pretty simple, actually. It looks cohesive in the end, but I did pay a lot of extra attention to little details, such as adding a black floor trim everywhere to hide the generic Maxis floors, for instance. Someone in my previous video recommended a floor trim replacement mod, which I've seen in the past, but I've never used it. Still, you can only have one default floor trim color, which I would probably choose white. So these deco pieces are still super useful because, yeah, white trim is much more beautiful than the default we have, but it's still just white, and I want, for instance, black trims in this house. The house is still mostly monochrome on the outside. I chose a combo of alternating white and black bricks, but I also added some bright lime green accents. It's absolutely a blinding color. It's spectacular. It's just, the brothers are signaling to the aliens that this is the place to be. I guess that's why they're living up here on this hill, closer to the skies, closer to their green-skinned friends. I was playing around with different windows. This house has a lot of different windows. I used like 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm trying to think, 5 or 6 different window types. It is mismatched. I have some default replacement windows, I have some basic Maxis windows, I have some recolors of Maxis windows. It's a lot. I just didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with this place. I'm sorry, it's a little bit too chaotic. Definitely not my proudest moment, to be honest. This build was definitely not my proudest moment. I tried to give it my best, y'all. I don't know. It's gonna change when we get to playing the house, and I'm gonna take any feedback that you guys have. If you guys have any good ideas, I will implement these. Another thing you'll notice is that I barely changed the interior layout of the rooms. Yes, I kept the ridiculously shaped bathroom in the middle of the house. It's a choice. It is a choice. It's a commitment, and it's a commitment that I made. Yes, the bathroom is staying as is. I added a space in Pascal's room for the built-in closet that came with apartment life. I removed the random doors that laid outside in the guys' bedrooms. It's kind of goofy, but they didn't really have a lot of space for furniture and deco, so the doors are gone. The bathroom also only has one door because, come on. They're not going to use the bathroom at the same time, so there's no need for 3 doors in every single direction. The color scheme is mostly black, white, gray, just monochrome with accents of orange, just burnt orange, bright orange, and green, of course, green. It's the alien color. How generic can I be? But there's a lot of that. And for their living space, I didn't give them a traditional TV. I was playing around with some modular cabinets, but instead I ended up placing this wall-draped TV and projector. I placed the projector a bit later on, which I specifically downloaded to place in this house. I kind of think of the Curious Bros as, they have a little bit of hippie tendencies, I kind of want to get them. That's something I didn't download. I didn't put a driveway in this house, but I can definitely imagine them having like a little hippie van. I placed some winding dirt roads that go down the hill and around and all the way across the map. And I'm thinking like this is the kind of secret road they take when they don't want to go down the main street where someone like General Buzz can see them and be like, there go the alien lovers again. So they use that road to, travel without being noticed. The kitchen, don't get used to this look too much. I wanted it to be colorful. I wanted to use items and counters that I didn't use often, but I just wasn't 100% feeling this kitchen, and when I loaded the game the next day, I changed it quite a lot, so you'll see a change in a little bit. In the living space, I used a deco tapestry that hangs from that awkward diagonal wall. I painted it with a metal sheet looking wall paint. Like, let's imagine that's just a random piece of sheet metal the brothers have placed there because they found it out in a field while exploring, some flying saucer wreckage or something. They placed it there in the middle of the room because, to filter out external wavelengths trying to penetrate and spy into their home or something. It's kind of like a tinfoil hat situation. I think of the Curious Bros as not just scientists, but dudes who have some seriously eccentric tendencies. Like they're so open-minded, but they're also a bit into conspiracy theories, Wait until they hear about the Bella Goth alien abduction theory, and oh my goodness, they will lose their minds. Here's when I loaded a lot next day, looked at the house, thought, you know what? This is cool, but I want more. So first things first, I added a second floor. It's not much, but I wanted a lab space. Well, at first I was wondering if I could move the bedrooms on the second floor, but then I realized that requires much more space and I didn't want to make this house much larger, so the laboratory goes in here. Plus the world's most miserable looking toilet. There's just a tiny toilet in that shorter tower right there. I used some, I think they're conversions, but I'm not sure if they're conversions from The Sims 4 or The Sims 3 from a prison set. It just looks like a very miserable situation. The next thing that I did was I got rid of all of the extra staircases, added some skylights on the third tower, and fixed the roofline. Another thing I wanted to change was the telescope diving board, for lack of a better comparison. This floating platform that just has no supports and it doesn't make sense. So I tested with Pascal if they can use the telescope when it's shuffled on the main tower, and it worked. So I deleted the extension and I think it just looks so much better like this. While figuring out what to do with the walls and the floors on the second floor, I saw these metal Maxis walls and I was like, oh my god, we need to have these everywhere. So I did add them here and there all over the place on the first floor as well. Here is when I went back to the kitchen and I decided, okay, this situation needs to change. I changed the walls, again, I put the metal walls. I changed the fridge. Initially, I gave the brothers like this tiny fridge that came with University. This one is a hacked version of the fridge that works like a normal large fridge, so it has all the functionalities. It's just small. It's very useful for like very tiny builds and apartments and whatnot. But there's no point in having such a small fridge in this house. So I gave them a full-sized fridge and a bright orange color, and I thought we can go with orange here. Orange is a much better color because this blue, it's cute, it's beautiful, but it's kind of muted. It's kind of too muted. So we did some experimenting and basically we ended up with a mix of black and orange. I put some extra lights. I put some extra decorations hanging on the walls. I think I did leave these shelves. Also, you'll see that the Curious Bros have like artwork with pride flags and whatnot. Because the boys, they are very open-minded and they are, they are not straight boys. Let's just put it that way, especially Pascal. Pascal is into everything. Anyhow, I placed this weird lamp, this wall lamp. I don't even know how I ended up with this one. This is what happens when you just download random lots. I downloaded a random lot and I ended up with this crazy looking wall lamp. And I thought, I'm never gonna use this, but I haven't deleted it from my game, and now is the time. Now is the time to have this lamp. I'm also using the Maxis neon lights. I put a little dining table, even though they have the bar. I thought they'll need a little bit more space. Sometimes they might even have guests. They might even have guests from outer space. Who knows? Their bathroom is pure chaos. Yes, their bathroom is insane. I went with just crazy colors. And it's so funny, like look at the potty chair and the big toilet has the same color scheme. It's just so perfect. It's a grown-up potty chair. So we have some bright red in this bathroom to kind of contrast and offset the green, and I even put like these little plants in the corner, and I did a bit of an experiment here. I stacked up a couple of plant pots. I stacked up a normal vase inside of a different vase to give it a different look. It made a kind of unique looking plant. The entryway, there's not much going on here, just a little cabinet, some decorations, a little radio. I'm not sure if this radio is functional. I have to check out in the game. I kept their chess table with some chairs and whatnot. I tried to make every single corner, if not something interesting to look at least something functional. Ooh, Lazlo's room. Now, I did spare you guys a lot of me just browsing through the catalog and picking furniture. I've already predetermined exactly what I want to place in these rooms because it's going to make it easier for us to just get through this quicker without wasting time. Ooh, you're going to notice, like, Lazlo, Vidcund is the one that grows plants, and Lazlo is the one that really appreciates consuming certain plants. Let's put it that way. That's something I specifically downloaded for the Curious Brothers. And I also gave him an instrument. I gave him the electronic music instrument. I thought, the synthesizer. He's gonna experiment with that. He definitely looks like the kind of guy who would be into music, into just culture, stuff like that. I haven't looked into his interests to see exactly what he's into. I'm pretty sure that all of them are into science. I'm pretty sure that all of them their hobby is science. Because when I was playtesting the house and I was shooting some cinematics that you'll see in the end, they all were like, I'm so excited I tried that science hobby, like as if I didn't know you're into that. Pascal's room, of course, contains a crib and a bunch of toddler toys and whatnot. It's kind of cute. It's a bit more, it's a bit darker, less messy. It's not like Lazlo's room. Lazlo's room is kind of all over the place, but he is a messy guy. He's a very sloppy sim. He's very lazy, like he's extremely lazy. And Pascal, I think Pascal has like 10 neat points or something like that. Like he is extremely neat. The boy is clean, so his baby is gonna be in perfect condition. And Vidcund's room. Ooh, Vidcund is... I'm biased. Vidcund is my favorite Curious brother. Let me know in the comments below which one of the Curious brothers is your favorite. My favorite Curious brother is Vidcund. Maybe it's my affinity for plants. I am a crazy plant lady. My house is a little botanical garden. I'm not saying I'm the best at taking care of my plants. I have had some unfortunate poor souls perish in my care. But for the most part, I love plants. I have a lot of plants everywhere. Right now I'm recording on a desk in my kitchen where I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plants next to me. There's just a lot of plants all over the place. So Vidcund is my kind of guy. He does have a lot of plants in his room. He has these big windows and skylights because I thought he's gonna need a lot of light for those plants to thrive. I mostly gave him crawling viney plants and maybe some succulents. And there's definitely a cactus or something in there, but some of those plants, I think they would require shade more so than direct sunlight, especially in a desert, bright, hot town like Strangetown. Now here we are upstairs with the laboratory. I pulled a whole bunch of objects. I also downloaded like these sci-fi corridor deco objects, the one you see on the wall. That has no purpose other than decoration, but it looks so good. It looks so good. I can imagine a whole lot decorated with just that as a sci-fi scene. Those are by Vip. That's a very popular creator. I have a whole bunch of deco objects from them. They create, I'm not sure like if they create their own meshes or they convert them from other games, but yeah, crazy good creator, a lot of amazing stuff from them. As always, if you guys see something in my game and wonder where it's from, drop me a comment down below with the timestamp and I'll try to find a link for you. I don't know if I can always succeed because some objects are like 1,000 years old, but I'll try my best to find a link for you. I gave the guys a robotic station as well. I also downloaded a conversion of the listening station from The Sims 4, the one that came with Strangerville, not to be mistaken with Strangetown. Oh, what do you guys think about Strangerville? I remember when that came out, it was like such a controversial expansion. People were like, oh, it's so bad, it's like just this one-off story, and then what do you do? But I really love the vibe. I really love the vibe of that desert town. It's giving me Red Dead Redemption, which is another game I absolutely love. I'm obsessed. Strangerville looks amazing. It's very empty, just like most things Sims 4. It's very empty of substance, but it just looks so good. I think it's such a gorgeous looking town. Anyhow, we're outside, and the garden is, well, I've been using this word a lot, but the garden is pure chaos. There's weird plants all over the place. I had these corals because I have a very specific hood idea in mind, but I did download a bunch of decorative corals, and I thought some of these just look like strange alien plants, and it's the exact kind of thing that the Curious brothers would be growing in their garden. Like Vidcund is like, oh, I found this seed that fell off a meteorite or something, I'ma just put it in my yard and see what comes up with it. He definitely has a green thumb. Now that I think of it, I think of the Curious bros like this. Vidcund would make such a great plant sim, although I'd be sad to convert him because he's gonna lose his typical look. He's gonna become a green leafy boy. You know, maybe that's his future. Maybe that's what he wants. What if that's what he wants? Why am I deciding for him what he should want? Yeah, but he would just make such a good plant sim because he's just so into that. And then Lazlo, while I was experimenting, playtesting, and exploring the house with the boys and recording my finishing touches at the very end that you'll see, someone came around the lot. A local legend stepped in, set foot in Strangetown. Of course, I'm speaking of none other than Miss Piggy. If you have not seen Piggy, what are you doing on my channel? Piggy is a legend. I don't know, this is the craziest dog that the game has ever spawned for me. The game usually spawns some wild strays, but this dog is something else. So Piggy came around, she even has a little cameo in the end, and Lazlo greeted her, he met her, he was very interested, like they were getting along, and I'm like, okay, what if Vidcund becomes a plant sim and Lazlo becomes a werewolf? Is that their destiny? I don't know if Piggy counts as a wolf, but immediately after meeting her, Lazlo rolled the wand to become a werewolf. So he wants that, and I think that just would make for such an interesting dynamic. I haven't really played with werewolves a lot. I've played with pretty much all the other occults, but I've barely touched werewolves, and I haven't really played much with zombies because I just find them annoying and boring. They don't really do nothing other than groan and think of brains. Werewolves is an occult that I'm like, maybe there's something more to werewolves. I should try it out. What if? Then what should Pascal be? He's just an alien lover boy. He's just the lover boy of aliens. But anyways, we'll see about that when we get to the actual gameplay of this house, which we'll be going through Strangetown rotations as well in our neighborhood. But for now, this is it. This is the finished Curious house makeover. The Curious brothers are typical Strangetown residents. They're all into science, they're not afraid of experimenting, and conspiracy theories are their favorite topic of discussion. That and aliens, of course. Each of the guys has his own hobby and special interest. Vidcund loves plants and is growing strange flora of unknown origin all around the surrounding area. He also has an affinity for a very special leafy weed that his brother Lazlo enjoys as well. Speaking of Lazlo, he's a bit lazier than his siblings, but he's more focused on the little pleasures of life, like potato chips, electronic music, and the odd animals that roam around the wilderness at night. But neither Vidcund nor Lazlo know aliens like their brother Pascal, who recently had an extra up-close and personal encounter with some visitors from outer space. Pascal is calm and speaks only positively of his encounter, so much so that he has inspired his brothers to seek contact with extraterrestrials on their own. Not a night passes by at the Curious household without one or two of the brothers making the long winding ascent to the telescope on the tallest tower of their home. Is it just a fleeting fascination for what lies among the stars? Or is it a fully fledged dedication to making contact with an unknown alien species? Some of the brothers got hooked up with exactly what they bargained for. Maybe this is the beginning of a long series of visitations by their friends from another planet. Or maybe they're falling for a trap and the aliens are planning on taking over all of Strangetown, like some of their neighbors suspect. We'll have to wait to find out what happens next. But this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching this lot renovation. I hope you had fun. Let me know what you think in the comments section. I love reading what you guys have to say. Once again, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more Sims 2 content like this, and I'll see you soon with another Sims 2 video. Bye!